me from the three of us. The three of you who were here last week.
Was I here last week?
Oh, it's paused. I can't roll.
Should be able to roll when it's paused. Yeah, you got a 12.
Oh, did I? Oh, never mind. The thing's just slow for me.
Oh.
Hopefully Try can make it in a little bit.
I'm gonna say no. Whenever he says something
Yeah,
like that, like it's
yeah.
always a no.
Yeah, it's true. Got ourselves a 12 and a 15. I'll roll for our boy Chuck. Got a nat 20 for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Which means Harkin. 12 is a loss.
But it can be a win. It can be a win.
Can be a win when you end up needing that DM inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. Well, starting off from last time, we picked up back at Dirkheim, shortly after our talk with, I can't remember if it was the leader or some sort of representative, but we weren't allowed to go to like the big meeting, so we wandered around town. To Harkin's horror, Dirkheim had no leisure or bars to speak of. We end up going to a local inn where Chuck gets paid handsomely to clean the rooms.
Pays to be a professional janitor.
Yep.
I
He
am.
doesn't have any idea of what money is yet. He hasn't figured out
Yeah.
the value of money, so he doesn't know he's been paid well.
I'm just waiting for the day that Chuck starts to turn into the janitor from Scrubs.
I mean, could happen. He could become a wise man. I doubt it though.
While we were there, Harkin tried to convince the innkeeper to allow him to perform to draw in customers. He was very close, but it all fell apart at the end. While we were there, we met an Ifrit named Isaiah Alduin. And
Ifrit? Yes.
Ifrit, yes. Sorry. Did I say
Okay.
Ifrit?
I think you just said Efri.
Oh, yeah.
Effrey still owes me $20, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of like contracted us out, asked us to look for those who are willing to make a contract with him, given that his business may or may not be suffering from, everyone being able to use magic now. Then we shortly left there, ended up in the arson district, met an orc blacksmith, I believe Gilda, asked us to check up on him. So we made our way out of town, to which we found the family. They were very, very malnourished. We convinced them to come back with us. And I'm going to butcher the goblin person name, but McLubel?
McLubiet. Yeah.
McLubiet. Attempted to write a ballad about him. That did not go well. So we walked back, and then we got ambushed by Dwellman. I'm having a morning.
Delmwyn.
Which went very well for the most part. Slarin kind of passed out. I believe it was Slarin, right?
Solarin did. He knocked himself out,
Yeah.
overtaxing his magic.
But for the most part, we handled it pretty well. There's quite a few of us injured, but that's...
It was really like the end. Like you were doing great, and then you just couldn't finish the last guy for the longest time.
Yeah, the rock here like blocked half of us from being able to see him for like
Yeah.
a good while. But I believe we left off after that had been dealt with. There was no casualties on our side, even amongst
Correct.
like the orcs and the children.
Thankfully, the children.
Do any of you have means of bringing Solarin back up, though?
I think.
I have a potion of healing.
Maybe there's better ways than that, though.
Owie has something.
Let me double check it, because I think Koei spent all of her spell slots.
Yeah, I know I went down quite a bit and required some frequent assistance.
Yeah, Koei is tapped out.
I mean,
Just drag him for a couple hours.
I mean, I can attempt to stabilize, but that wouldn't be...
If I remember right, he is stabilized. He wasn't under risk. It was just that you couldn't get him back up.
No, okay.
You can't just throw water on him.
We can wait. It's a waiting game at this point if we don't have anything that can increase his health right now.
Yeah. I'm sure the orc family would need the rest anyways, given all this excitement and their
ill state of affairs, how they're
a lot of movement for very little energy.
We could do with the rest. It's true, says the wife. The children are struggling a little bit. Do you have recommendation of where you would like to rest? We could probably find somewhere, but we defer to your... She, hesitates. Expertise on the matter?
We're taking the same path we took out here, right?
Yes.
Is it possible to remember if there was a suitable spot to make a small camp that seems safer than where we are currently?
You can give me a survival check. Well, you two feel like you are in the midst of the more opportune locations in the area.
I guess here would be fine. Probably not so close to these bodies. Probably maybe over here near the cliff face. That way we're protected a bit more.
What? Over here? She says, walking over and dropping her backpack.
Be like that's good enough.
They quickly pull out some supplies, and the boy goes off for some firewood and comes back as they set up a little fire, and they say, "We can take a rest here then."
Harton's going to attempt to drag Solarin over to the camp.
Yeah,
Probably
I guess
leave them in the middle of the road.
Yeah, Sykes will assist as well.
I think we're barely carrying him. I come by his arms, you come by his legs, and he's just swinging between us.
He's really just being drugged right now. Yeah, we're trying to
Head's just
minimize
logging
the
every
friction
rock
surface
wall.
area of his body.
Oh.
As you settle in here, It does seem decent. It's cold, but not too windy, and the skies are clear. And as you settle in for your rest, you can give me a perception check for the course of the hour.
Well, that did not go well.
That is a couple of failed ass checks.
Besides, you're still run privately, by the
You
way.
realize you're wearing shoes.
And you realize that it seems like you're in the middle of nowhere. Surely there wouldn't be anyone else here, right?
That's what we thought coming down here, yeah. Seemed like a great idea at the time.
Fine.
Let's see. Crud, could I have you roll a d20 for me?
No, that can't be good.
Let me bring you over. The Delmoin Archers down. It's depressingly late that you notice this. But coming up the road towards you, you see a small band of travelers, by no means trying to be discreet, and they get to like here before you notice them. All in all, you can see about 8 of them, all of them robed and hooded. And as they get to about there, they see you, and you see as they wave at you.
Is there anything unique about their robes?
No,
Like
it's a
uniformity, perhaps?
no uniformity, pretty mixed message.
What about their stature? Do they seem larger like orcs, or are they like more human-esque?
More humanesque.
Orcs are human-esque, okay?
Yeah, but I like to think they're
I know what you're...
they're
Are
probably
they
more
bipeds?
broad-shouldered.
They are bipeds, yes.
Excellent. 2 shoes.
3 shoes, actually, but the third is ceremonial.
I guess Harkin will greet this band of travelers. Good day to you, fair travelers. I would exercise caution if you're proceeding. I'm gonna assume top of the map is north of here.
One of them pulls back their hood, and you can see that they are kind of a purple bluish tiefling with black horns. This woman looks at you and says, "Greetings, travelers. I take it you venture from the north, then?
We
Might I ask where you originate, where you are coming from, specific?"
Well, for us, we were just running an errand from Dirkheim to help this family that was staying out here. We're actually escorting them back to Dirkheim at the moment.
Oh, what a humorless place you go to.
Yes, but it is a good place for this family to recover. The farm wasn't as prosperous as they needed for the winter. No fault of their own, I'm sure. This is a harsh land.
Are they
A
dirty?
harsh and travel weary, but not dirty.
All right.
Well, is there any concerns that we should have going that direction?
Well, when we got to this point, I assume the corpses are still here somewhere, right? We haven't
Yes.
gone that far. As you can see, Dwellmen have been attacking
Delmwyn.
travelers. Yeah, I'm so bad. I'm
You're
going to
okay.
just say that. I'm just going to call them the elves. The elves here have ambushed us on our way back. There might be more in the woods up north.
Another one of the robed figures comes forward and pulls their hood back. As you can see, they are a Delmwyn elf as well. I hope they've not harmed you too severely. You've done well to handle them with ease. And then
It
he
is
pauses as he
unfortunate.
sees Salar in there, and he comes taking a few steps forward with his hands up like, is it okay for me to approach?
I see no reason not to. You at least greeted us and didn't fire on us without warning.
He kneels down to Salarin and puts his hand on Salarin's brow. And you can see as there is a little pulse of light as Salarin heals for 6 points.
I can see deep into the sun. Huh? Oh. Oh, I'm back. Oh, thank you, cousin.
Well, was it Durgheim that you yourselves have come from?
Nay, we have traveled from far further afield. We make our way to the leader of our kind.
Oh god, what was this guy's name? I remember. Hold on. It's one of these
Do you?
pages.
Ooh.
Maybe? If it's the person I'm thinking of, like, it got mentioned at some point.
He's been
But
mentioned exactly once, I think.
I probably don't remember though, but
No, it's Tirok Nor.
maybe?
What?
Well,
Hold on.
well, is the tiefling lead or
DS9?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
that's what I have
remember
for
off the
like
top
the
of my
capital of the Downwind. It's like Tirok Nor.
No, that's Deep Space Nine there, buddy.
Oh, I know.
Did I?
That's why I was like, that's kind of weird that of a reference to make, but that's what I heard.
Can make a history check
Okay,
to see if you
Starjammer,
remember
I get
the
it.
mentioned name.
Yeah, you can give me a history check for the leader. Tirith Nor.
Tirith Nor? Okay.
No, Tirith Nor is not
Oh.
That's
Terek
so
Nor.
much different.
Hush now. TIRITH dash NOR is not the capital, it is the nearest Delmwyn outpost.
Oh, okay.
It's where the
It's where the wormhole is.
that's
Really
where
helpful to
the
trade.
Nada from Volsny went to. Yeah.
Yes, she went to go negotiate with the Delmwyn at Tirith Nor. It's like Terra Nor.
I
Thought I was gonna meet Major Kira. Now I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She's off liberating the unofficial prisoners.
Just wait till he starts making those SG-1 references.
The spiritual leader of the tieflings is Felkir.
Is Feltier. That was
Yes.
he's like the one that helped like lead him out of the
Yeah,
hells.
he's responsible for a massive pilgrimage out of the hells in which he actually kept ferrying them out and going back and getting more for as long as he could. So he's helped lead probably hundreds of tieflings out of the Nine Hells to this continent because there is unstable portals here. And so he is seen as not like an official, but a rather like a hero and spiritual leader.
Is that the guy's journal that we found?
I don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
Although we still have that, right?
Yeah, you unless you did anything with it, I would imagine. That was
No. Well, Harkin's gonna ask if where they're heading is full of tieflings.
We go to see. Sorry, crowd. The emissary. No, not the embassy. I'm trying to read your hat now. What does it say next to the Starfleet title?
It's Titleist. So it's a golf hat.
No relation.
With a-
Okay.
Yeah, with a badge on it.
We go to see Felkir. Our kind are gathering en masse to prepare to build for ourselves a homeland. The Delmoin says, I have gotten on well with these entertaining, fine folk of fiendish origin. I've decided to travel with them for a time and see how I come to like it, also to help them along. I am sorry that my kindred have assaulted you, but you know, it's all in good fun and good spirit.
I can't imagine any of that was for any fun or good spirit.
I mean, it'll be a great tale to write about in the future. And you might not know, given the diversity of your clans, but do you know of which one these belonged?
How do you mean? We are Delmoin.
But you separate into groups, do you not?
When the
Over
fancy
time.
takes us.
Oh. Well, I sincerely hope that you take no offense to their deaths. I'm pretty sure Solarian killed most of them, so...
Turning to Sykes, he says, do you take issue with my statement? Or do you call me liar?
I have no reason to believe you're a liar, but I don't think that they, as he, points to the corpses of the other Delman, I don't think that they were trying to have fun with us, or I can't imagine why a group of individuals would find it fun to murder unsuspecting travelers making their way.
Many
It's
of
a
us
good
have-
thing that our actions and morals aren't based off of what you can imagine, he says, taking a sharp twist.
Do you know if maybe we tossed some sort of offense when we traveled through here, or maybe like we traveled?
How am
through
I
this-
to speak of the mood of them and what their fancy was in that situation? They have their reason and they have their desires. I cannot speak of it, nor can you.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if we had accidentally stumbled into some sort of territory. I know we've done that once before, and it was
I think
much
many
more.
of
And you thank me for them, their keeper, or even knowing this region, just because I'm like them?
Well, I
No,
figured
you-
like if they had left any markings as a fellow Dwellman elf, you would.
Oh,
would
and
know.
now you can't even say our names. Does it
I
come
know.
uneasy to your lips? Do you bear resentment to it?
I have a speech impediment. He's trying to like point his fingers
I
together.
think he's just racist.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
As you can see, his agitation is growing.
Cousin, we do not just make any assumptions. Many of our kind are not sort of as friendly to these outsiders as we are. Many are narrow-sighted. This one meant no offense. He just does not know. He just considers no thought before any speech. As is their way.
I just I thought it was strange because a lot of your people that I've met have been at least more amicable. I thought we had caused them some sort of offense by traveling through here and did not wish to do so with other groups.
Many
And of
our
course, if we are
motivations
not
flow with the
acting in
wind.
the same position as you, then therefore we are not amicable. I am sorry if we are not kind enough to you intruding upon our lands, taking all of the region through here, killing the trees, and then we have to be amicable too and hold to your principles?
I would at least... I meant more so the shooting at us first without any warning is, at least to me, as someone who has not been here before, who has nothing to do with this region, found it odd. But I can see your perspective and how our actions could be considered an affront to your peoples.
It's not even my opinion. It is simply plausible that some other could hold that opinion.
Very much so, and I can see here that you have found agreeable travel companions.
Far more
and then-
palatable than you, it would seem.
Wow.
Whoa, buddy! I was on
Those-
your side for a second. He's totally a racist. Why you gotta bring me into this?
You bring dishonor to my group,
He-
cousin. You watch your words.
He turns
I may
turns to
give you
Chuck.
6
He turns to Chuck and then Solarin and he says, I was speaking of him.
Oh yeah, that dude's fucked up, man.
What?
And turning to Solarin and he says, and I healed you, cousin. Best hold your tongue on this matter.
Well, I think we owe you something. So do you guys mind if I clean up your weapons for you real quick? Maybe mend those boots.
I have no need of a weapon to travel with my companions here, of a more conscientious and entertaining mind than this one.
I mean, I'm sorry, your little avatars were holding battle axes. I assumed. Never mind. That was racist.
No, those are the orcs. This is a elf.
Oh, we're talking about these down here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
The
yeah.
The orcs are the ones that you picked up. They're the homeschool conspiracy theorist preppers.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm all caught up.
Like, even the orc children are holding giant ass battle axes.
Now I'm super offended too, because I'm half elf. Harkin. You racist against us halfies?
I never said there was anything wrong with your people. I want
The
to
like
understand what we did
13-year-old
wrong
orc
to
is
cause us
holding
to
a
be
giant. The 13-year-old orc is like holding a giant battle axe, and he's like, "Yeah, this is a Blackhawk 357 Edge with a tactical grip on it. And don't you be taking it away from me!"
Seeing as is it just the dwellment? I'm just going to call it dwellment.
There's
Delmwind.
Is the only one who seems upset,
Walk up, smack him.
or does the group as a whole seem upset?
the tieflings are like maybe a little bit awkward, uneasy. They don't seem to have the same volatility, but they do seem to be like on his side, if not emotionally invested in it, if that makes sense.
And so with the calm emotion spell, is this a specific phrase, or is it just empowering the words that I say?
Sorry, what was the first part of the question?
So you know how like so the calm emotions has like a vocal component.
Yes.
Is that like a specific like phrase, or is it just using the words that he says to impart the will of the spell? Would you say?
Some of both. It's clear that you're casting a spell. If they fail, then you're okay. If they succeed, then it's very apparent that you're casting a spell.
And I'm gonna cast calm emotions to be like, I'm sorry, I did not mean to offend. I am ignorant of your people's ways. I have no problem with them. As you can see, I travel with a diverse group, and they'll cast calm emotions on that group.
You don't get to use me as your token half elf, okay?
Your name is Tolkien.
pronounced Tolkien.
That reflection is hilarious. Unfortunately, because he is an elf, he gets advantage on that save. Unbelievable. As the Delmwyn, read some Tolkien. Fails his saving throw. He seems to ease just a little bit. The tieflings with him look a little bit confused as to what happens. Fortunately, it's not the same as full manipulation and mind control.
But they probably weren't as angry at me as he was, probably most likely.
Exactly, yeah.
They were probably more feeding off of how he was feeling, it's one of their friends, and they are like, yeah, man, why are you attacking this guy?
I don't think he was even attacking though. I think he was just asking questions, but he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
But he'll offer an invitation for him to rest here with us for a bit if they so desire. Otherwise, he hopes they have safe travels and reach their final destination safely.
I thank you for that, and I'm sorry if I spoke too rashly. My people are an impulsive one. We go who takes us, and we found a near immortality to be a waste if we are just forever calm and measured. What is the point if you do not follow your feelings and emotions a little bit? Otherwise, it is dreadfully boring.
And it was solely my fault. I am ignorant. I should acknowledge that. And
this is true.
I will try to teach these ones better, but their primitive minds move slowly.
It is disappointing that you travel with such closed mind and awkward individuals, and I wonder if perhaps you are yourself losing your identity and eroding the culture and principles of our kind. But it is for you to decide how you travel on your own, even if it is at the detriment of representation of our people and cultures. As he is calm, but his opinions have not changed.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's just very calmly dissing you.
This very passive aggressive.
Just pulls out a
He
scroll
kind of cuts a
and
little
under.
more.
Solarin just pulls out a scroll, and under the one the other elf lookout he had a tiff with a couple sessions ago, he writes this guy's name. It's just okay.
So it's what Palatar now, and
that opinion.
Yeah, I think Harkin's very glad that
it
he's
is.
not the only here.
Sykes feels he's looking around and he's yeah, it's 70% orcs in our group, and of course they're talking about us. He feels the cut most deep. That
this guy Althsteir, that was this guy's name. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If
that is fine, cousin. Fine.
Yeah.
Best measure yourself better before your card is revoked.
That's.
Larry, I didn't know that.
I hope you have a great travel. And be safe. You never know what sneaks in the night.
Yeah. Can Harkin get any information out of the tieflings about where the settlement is roughly located?
you could give me a persuasion check, because while they weren't emotionally invested in your spat with the Delmwin, they also were a little put off at your treatment of him, and then they clearly saw your emotional manipulation, so... But it is not so patently manipulative, it's more of just de-escalating the situation. It is about 100 miles inland. So much of the sea territories seem to be already divided amongst the more powerful forces. We see little hope of carving our own place to call a home anywhere near the shore.
Is there any resources that your outpost lacks that perhaps, if leveraged right, Durkheim can provide trade with?
We would have something to trade with to get to that point. Durkheim is not cruel, but very...
Boring.
I understand that they are very possessive of...
transactional is the word I was going to say.
Lacking in spirit.
It is
And
true
spirits.
they don't particularly like to trade with outsiders, but if it is, or if you do have something, perhaps there is something that they can provide for you.
Do you have a recommendation?
Well, they cut some of the finest stone in the land, and it is, if you've been to Durkheim, they are some of the most industrious artisans that you'll see here.
Therefore, what could we trade?
Well, I suppose it would be mostly monetary, and if there is any
But we
precious
have no money.
gems, if there's precious gems or even other resources for building that you perhaps can mine or come across relatively routinely, that would
The
be something.
tieflings seem a little crestfallen and they say, unfortunately, mining is not our strong suit.
Is there any resources in the nearby area of your outpost that perhaps maybe you haven't had the opportunity to take advantage of, but maybe one day you seek to?
We have not made it to the settlement. We do not know of their preparations.
Very
But
well.
perhaps one day, though, truthfully and without disrespect, our hope does not lie with the orcs. It is some relief that they lack the... And then Tiefling catches himself halfway through speaking and looks a little bit apologetic and says, cunning manipulation that our fiendish overlords utilize.
I will
But-
say it as it is. It's no secret that we are a very literal group of people.
You have only to look at your organizational name to see the truth in that.
It's to the point and effective.
But we have spent millennia serving under the most guilesome of creatures that exist across the plains. We find something refreshing, even if we hold little hope, in the again, with no disrespect, simplicity of orc.
If there is something I think our people can share, it's trying to get out from under those that would put us in brutal and very appalling conditions.
The tieflings all kind of nod in agreement with that. At this point, Althsteir, the Delmwyn, kind of stiffens a little bit as he comes out from the calm emotions. Not from realizing he's been manipulated, but still leveled up the tenseness again.
Did they accept our offer to stay, or are they moving on?
We must continue. We appreciate the invitation, but we are not deep enough into our travel to take rest yet.
Very, very well. And again, safe travels, and I apologize for my rudeness.
The Delmoin looks at you and says, "That is the first halfway sensible thing you have said since I've met you."
Harkin will take a deep bow and, go to the other side of the group and, check his belongings.
What are you checking for?
Oh, just like repacking them. Because I assume we put some things out while we started resting.
The orc
Yeah,
girl
no, I
goes,
take no offense. Everything's
you go.
cool. Let me check to make sure my belongings are still here.
He's probably like tuning his lute and like tightening his drum. Busy
Just
work.
put it away. As it leaves
Well,
Lawrence in deep conversation with the young orc about the Blade Master 3000. It's quite a nice piece.
if Harkonnen is looking for a gun, then the young orc woman offers him her M4A1 chambered in 7.62.
It's like, here, have this.
It's her right to
Well-
have it.
She is a sovereign citizen here.
I am traveling. I'm traveling.
I do not contract and I am not going in commerce.
The funny thing is that's the second time this has come up today.
I'm honestly waiting for the next time I get fucking pulled over so I can pull that shit.
You will get arrested or shot.
No, I won't. I will get off with a warning just because I made the guy laugh so hard. My best friend's a cop. He would die laughing.
The one who brought it up earlier is Liquid, who is he's a police officer in London, and somehow he still gets the traveler sovereign citizen bullshit.
Oh yeah, they're
That's
big
fucking
there.
really.
Reason.
That's amazing. I want to talk to him because I remember the last time I was in London with my wife. Like I was joking around with the cops there, and I love London cops. They have just the best senses of humor. Like they're so easygoing. I love them. They're great.
Yeah, he had a massive scare because he was doing a drug bust and he got pricked by a needle.
Oh,
Oh yeah, did he get high?
No, it was more a concern of like HIV or Hep C or a
Oh,
dozen other
AIDS.
things.
Yeah, that's the bad stuff.
blood
Yeah.
transmitted disease.
It took 24 hours, but it turned out that it was a clean needle. So
Good. I'm glad.
All is good.
It's,
Yeah.
you
yeah,
Not
he
glad
was a
that
little
happened.
bit freaked
Yes.
out.
just start like thinking about like, there's a lot of things that get wrapped up into that.
No, he has the weirdest shit happen to him too, because like his Friday game starts like 10 minutes after he gets off, so he's usually on the train for the first 20 minutes. And it's always shit of him being like on mic on his phone. He's like, "Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to get off here. Someone just broke a wine bottle on the train and started threatening to stab people."
Hell yeah.
He's like, I'm off duty, otherwise I would handle it.
No, he still has to go handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Mike does that shit too. Like, he's always like, he used to leave us on Discord in his pocket on his cell phone and just leave it. He would mute us, but we could hear everything that was happening and all of his traffic stops and shit. It was amazing.
That is a lot of what happens. The tieflings and the Delwyn look ready to leave. The Delwyn is back to somewhat hostile, or at least aggressive. The tieflings are okay, though, as they say. It's perhaps best if we continue on, but do us a kindness, and if you encounter any more of our kind, please speak of the lands to the north. I am sure they will know the name Felkir, but we are trying to make a safe haven for our kind there.
What is the name of the outpost?
So far as I know, we do not have a name for it yet. We only heard that the Chosen One, Felkir, has ventured north in search of a place, and we wish to follow after him.
Are they full elves or half elves?
No, these are tieflings.
I'm so
They're
confused.
traveling with.
There's one elf.
One Delwyn with them.
Oh, okay. That's where I got confused. There's
Yeah,
one elf.
one elf is kind of like finding them as friends and traveling with them. The rest are tieflings, and they're all tieflings who've like escaped from the Nine Hells.
Each group gets issued one Delwyn.
Only if they're PC and culturally sensitive.
Exactly.
You say that.
Well, we
I
could be
figured hell
culturally
was full of
sensitive
people that would be
to
trusted.
our groups in here.
I mean, it's great to be here.
I think it's part of their Make-A-Wish Foundation.
They're like,
help the
look, we're
less-
helping them out.
Yeah, the less fortunate races.
Oh,
Yeah.
these cute little races, yes.
Yeah. It's just Solarians stuck with a whole bag of orcs right now, so they're like, ew, that's gross.
I drew the short straw. Got.
Drew the short straw, so you got to drive the short bus.
Yeah.
They start to make their way off, but Sarath, the tiefling who's been kind of the spokesperson, says, "We do wish you well, Lo. And again, please do not mistake us. No ill will towards Durkheim or the orcs. Just we understand their turmoil and suffering. We go through much of the same, and we must look after ourselves."
Thank you for that
Much
sentiment.
as you must as well. Though I will say you have suffered under Grumsh for long. We have suffered under 9 Grumshes.
It certainly does paint the picture a little more broadly.
And we have suffered under Grumshes that do not need us for holy war, but take delight in our suffering alone. Imagine if you served under Grumsh, but you were goblins. There is some uncomfortable shifting from the homeschoolers in the back.
And also uncomfortable shifting from Sykes, who's like, this is about to bust open a other question. Thanks for sowing some seeds of doubt.
We have all suffered in life, and the only ways to find balance is where we can. We do not need to compare our sufferings. It is not there is no winner in that cause.
It is no wonder, pipes up the Delmuin Althsteir, that you can speak of balance still. I wonder that you do not choke on the word when traveling with those who are so out of touch with balance.
You talk from those of the spawned from the underworld and talk to me of that balance? And choosing companions
Sykes?
poorly?
Sykes
He
just kind of like hefts a dagger
takes-
a couple times and he puts it on his hand and he's like, I think I understand balance quite well. And he just puts it back in his belt.
He steps up towards Solarin and he says, "Do not speak ill of my friends. They have shown mettle and kindness far greater than anything demonstrated by your kind here. You stand over the blood of Delmuin and
Some in
dare
you
to
turned against
criticize
They made their
these kind
choice.
ones."
They made their choice. They felt their path, and they chose incorrectly. You know as well as I that those who make the choice suffer the consequences.
Didn't he mention that at the
And,
beginning? He was like, that was the
these
choice they made?
have-
That he's what?
No, didn't he mention that that was the choice they had made? And now he's like, oh, you just killed him?
Oh, no. Wait,
Oh yeah,
I
we're
mean,
emotional
yes,
hypocrites.
emotional hypocrites and more of like you're attacking them, but you're and standing with these pieces of shit at simultaneously criticizing the tieflings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, and that's why I'm going.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have not seen the the people that these people have saved, the struggles they have been through, and all those have protected. I will also stand for my friends, and you will not badmouth them in my presence.
Can I get an intimidation check from Solarin?
Was he talking shit about us?
He's kind of been doing that. The whole time.
Yeah.
Not great.
See, it's not so much fun when it's not you, huh?
What, me?
No, Solarin. When Harkin
Chuck
was in front of
Chuck has just been like listening for 10 minutes. Like, wait, are you speaking bad about us?
I like look at Solarin. Is he talking shit?
Oh, he's talking mad shit.
Sucker punch. I sucker punch him. I sucker punch him.
Because Chuck is so fast, I will let you throw one sucker punch before shit goes down.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Oh man.
Oh no.
This guy's gonna be like a level fucking 20.
Oh yeah, he's got level 8 spells. Shit's gonna go down.
Unarmed strike.
There we go. So you do a minimum damage, like open hand bitch slap across his face as his head snaps.
Yeah, I want to open
You should-
palm
You should
strike
follow
him.
that up with, I hope you take no offense.
No, I'm gonna say I don't have
No.
a fucking clue what's going on right now, but I don't like your tone.
The ones who were saying, "I hope you take no offense," were the tieflings. To be clear.
Yeah. No, I know.
Okay.
But it's just like to just kind of like we're slightly frustrated because we just got beset upon by this group of Delmuin, and he's like, "Well, that's your bad, I guess." And It's like,
yeah, you
Oh, I
assholes.
thought we were
caused
just
this.
having a chest puffing contest, and then just
yeah.
it just escalated.
And
So,
Chuck's like, slap.
the sore spot.
I'm so confused right now.
The sore spot there was Solarin specifically participating in the killing of that. For you guys, he's like, "Hey, it happens. Our kind are volatile. You're invaders. They do some shit. You do some shit. It's okay." But Solarin, that was more of an egregious affront.
Yeah, but I got my boy Solarin's back.
Too.
I think he's an elf. He's either an elf or a tree.
I would say we're
Or a bird.
1 for
Well,
killed trees. Am I right?
Yeah, Sykes likes Solarin because they both have this similar idea, right? Like, we gotta work together to make it better in this area. It's not like he's cutting dry as like, it's your people and your people.
As Chuck throws hands with Althsteir, we are gonna throw to initiative.
I have to like
As-
actually roll my
no,
initiative?
no. It auto rolls for you.
All right, cool. Oh shit, we should have taken that long rest before I bitch slapped somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is a bold move, Cotton.
It's like, let's take stock. Solaren is out of light die. Koei is out of spell slots.
Can I also immediately apologize after the slap? Can I say, I don't know what's going on here, and I don't know
Well-
what you mean with your words, because they're all big and fancy, and you got a pretty mouth. But you don't talk to my friend like that.
Alternatively, you could bitch slap him and then call his reaction an unprecedented assault in an act of war.
No, in fact, I'm going to look at him, I'm going to say, slap me back. Slap me, you get one slap, slap me back. This is how we used to do it in the monastery. This is how we solved all of our problems.
Rochambeau for it.
You can just like be like, your mouth is filthy. Let me clean it, and just like jam your mop in his mouth. So you should. So you should do.
I'll save that line for later.
Yeah.
When we have the upper hand.
Yeah, when we're not all about to die, unless I somehow apologize.
Are we satisfying Chud's make-a-wish?
Yeah, you guys should be apologizing for me. Like, he's special. We found him in the woods. His autism is cleaning.
Lavas gets out a quick word of like, yo, I don't know what happened, but like, do we need to... Is shit going down?
Now's not the time, probably.
Lavas is gonna take a big step back and be like, hey, not participating in unless things get out of hand. As he tries a de-escalation tactic, and I'm even gonna let him make a persuasion. Oh!
It's pretty good.
Althsteir the Demoin looks over at Lavas and says, so be it! He can suffer alone.
Parkin just yelled
So
from the
you're-
background. Don't kill him at least.
You're supposed to be culturally sensitive. Well, that's my culture.
Sorry, you're so
Identify as a
sensitive.
sucker puncher.
I identify as a bitch slapper.
Oh! Althsteir raises his staff and slams it as he reaches out with one hand, and he creates like a pinching motion. And Chuck feels almost like something grabbing at his throat and constricting as he begins to suffocate.
Is this Darth Vader we're facing right now?
No force. No force. No force is unfair. You're cheating. You're cheating.
Chuck becomes restrained and is suffocating. As Althsteir is concentrating, I need to equip the concentrating condition. Althsteir is also going to take a step backward, provoking an attack of opportunity from Chuck if he wants to.
Can you roll it for me, please?
Kick him right in the.
Received a complaint that there's a fly. You know, I'm in the bedroom and I must catch it in my. Throw it out.
Is
it's
Solaren
gone.
also going to attack?
I'll turn on the light.
No.
Okay.
Just a question. Can you make a grapple as part of as an
Come on.
attack of opportunity? Can you?
Okay, so
I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious.
officially no. I say yes. I just put those clarifiers when my opinion departs from the rules as written.
Okay.
I might try a grapple then if he's like trying to get kind of full Nelson him. Just like,
He's trying to step away. Up to you.
try and step away from me or away up to me, then he wouldn't be leaving
Away
me
from both of
threatened.
you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's creating space between our groups.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably try to at
Okay.
least grapple.
Give me an
Yeah.
athletics check then.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, he just slips away. What does Sykes do?
Why? Why do I have to roll such a high initiative? Ugh. Sykes is he's pragmatic about the situation. He sees he's got a compatriot that's kind of in a bind. He doesn't want to see the rest of the people get hurt, and above all, he doesn't want to see this family get hurt either. So he's gonna step to about right here, kind of put himself in between the orc and the perceived threat right now. Can he attempt like an intimidation check to like just back Althsteir down?
Sure.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
Okay. You're on whispered rolls, FYI. I
Oh,
can see it, but no one else can.
Dang.
Is it bad?
He rolled a 24.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Whether we perish here today at your hand,
You're gonna be one of the ones dead.
the orcs of Durgheim will find you.
It's
They
one of
will
those.
know.
We may not live, but you're gonna be dead.
You value everything that you say you do, and you want to see these tieflings to their home. You'll release, my friend, and you'll be on your way. He just kind of doubles that down with like drawing his sword in his shield, and he's just like in the stance, like, all right.
That's a pretty strong move, as Sarath and the other tieflings like take a step back, and they kind of position themselves between the Delmwyn and yourselves. Sarath draws a dagger, but he's like, "We have no ill will towards you, but he has proven a good friend. Perhaps we can take a step back from this." Solarin.
Yeah, Solarin will just sort of put his hands up and be. Our passions run deep. We do not need to shed any more Delwyn blood tonight, this day. And yeah, just does nothing.
Chuck, what do you do as you are gasping for air, unable to breathe?
I bitch slap again. No, I'm kidding. I'll like kind of back away and go to the back of the group. And I'm holding
you are
it,
actually
like,
restrained. As you start to take a step back, you actually find that whatever is like holding your throat stops you from moving.
Oh, in that case, I start hysterically screaming. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, I can't move. He paralyzed me.
Scream like you're dying.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
screaming. Like,
Hearken.
Oh goodness. Just to be safe, I'm gonna put myself in between Koei and the group, just in case she decides to get violent as well. So his held action will be stopping her from doing anything more to intensify the situation.
Koe starts to throw herself at Althsteir. With your positioning, you're able to kind of like reach out and try to stop her, and you realize as soon as you start to try to stop her that she is not putting much force into this. As she starts to be like, let me, please keep holding me back. I want to rip his throat. Please don't let me go. As she's making a great performance and hamming it up at throwing herself at this guy to rip his throat out, but allows you to hold her back.
That's some bard flavor right there.
Yeah. Chuck, your vision is starting to blur as the edges of your vision is starting to close in. You're kicking and struggling at this. You can attempt to make a strength or dexterity check to pull yourself free of this, but whatever's happening is you're probably gonna black out soon.
Hell yeah. Strength or dexterity check? I guess I'll go dex check, because everything else is ass.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Ooh! Hoo-hoo! Okay.
I just go limp standing up, like...
Not yet. You're not out yet, but you can tell, like... You don't have too much longer, because it's not even just cutting off air, it's like cutting off circulation to your brain. Harkin.
Harkin's just gonna turn his head as he's still holding a thrashing Koei bat and be like, "If you could at least not kill him, that would be great." He's very simple. If anything, maybe let him go and praise his mop. And that's all Harkin will do.
I'll let Harkin make a persuasion check as well.
Oh god. Boo boo.
Should be theoretically good at these.
That's rude.
Theoretically.
Theoretically.
Listen, it's still better than a 3.
True.
Laas is gonna come over to here, and he's gonna keep his bow down, but he'll just like very casually pull out an arrow and inspect the head. He's like, "Are we still good, guys?" Koei's whispering, "Don't you dare let me go!" and continues to kind of like scrabble and hop forward as she lets out a string of the most illustrative, demonstrable ways of demonstrating the diversity of certain words and its colorful effects. Althsteir looks at the rest of you and says, "Just this one, then. I'm sure you don't mind if he passes out." So Lauren, seeing that he's not going to back down even if he doesn't escalate matters, what do you do?
I want to... I'll step in front of Chuck. Listen, enough! And I will see if you're down with this. I want to channel a hit die into light, just to do into the cantrip light, just to do a huge, just super bright blast. Nothing inherently aggressive, but just super bad. Push like a light ball.
Oh, you're gonna flashbang him?
Pretty much.
What I'll basically do is let you do a night wave.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that'll burn 1 hit die, and he'll make a constant. Well, that doesn't even burn a hit die if he doesn't fail.
Yeah.
It does burn one as he goes blind momentarily.
That would be a D8. Let's see.
For what? For the damage?
Yeah, because I have no.
Oh,
hit die, I
yeah,
have
yeah,
no
that's
life
right.
die.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot
So it
about
did
that.
4. Oh, I'm
Plus
still
your
up.
con modifier.
Oh, I'm down. Hopefully, well, it's meant to be a big gesture, so.
Yep. That interrupts his concentration as Chuck goes free, and after a round, he's able to like shake off the blinding effect. As he looks and he can see Slarn crumpled over. Perhaps I went a bit too hasty there. And looking at Chuck, but you are the ill-favored one who doth bitch slap me unprovoked.
Your mama. Actually, it would have come out like that. Your mama.
He bristles for a moment and he says, "Do not make me rethink this course of action at the sacrifice of your friend."
You know, it's probably sad but true. Harkin's still the bad guy here.
I mean,
Why you gotta be so racist?
is that up for debate? But Althsteir takes a step back and he says, "I apologize if I crossed the line. Though I feel as though you did too, and I am more than justified in that retaliation. Perhaps it be best we are on our way and find more amiable and well-tempered folk than yourselves. It is amazing that spending lifetimes with devils, and they're still better humored than yourselves."
Sykes is just gritting his teeth, and he still just like he kind of nods like with his sword to like go up the road.
Try not to break a tooth! Your kind are ugly enough without that. The tiefling,
Things.
as Althsteir goes storming off, the tieflings kind of like pause and look and they go, "He's really quite lovely and jovial with us." I'm
Like this-
sorry if things went too far, but you do seem to bring out the worst in him plus some.
Not quite easy to see your own kind fallen in the woods here. I imagine that played on his emotions a bit. But please
Might have
do
had
it on-
something to do with your own poor behavior.
Be that as it may, don't think it would be wise to linger here longer. As Sykes like takes a knee next to Solarin, is gonna try to stabilize him.
Solarin has knocked himself out twice. Today.
It's been a rough couple hours, man.
This is all like the last 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Had we just taken longer at the house to get on our way, we'd might have come up on some tieflings being dead. I don't know.
That's actually quite possible. As they go venturing off, you are left on your own with an unconscious Solarin once more. Even though it was the elf that raised him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then things happen.
You know, like some, yeah, you know, he's like, oh, certainly certainly one of my own. I have to help him, and then it's like, oh, You partook in the massacre of our own people. How dare you?
Oh, like he's never killed another downwind. Bullshit.
I mean, that wasn't even the last straw. That was just
One of
pointing
the
out some
many.
hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to stabilize Slarin.
You are able to, but you're not able to wake him back up. Short of use of a potion.
Sykes kind of just looks at it, and he's like, and he tucks it back in, like he may need that here soon.
Solarin's been kind of a dick to you. I don't get it.
No, I think it's been pretty good. He's just like, man, this isn't the best place to hang out.
However, an hour does pass, permitting you all to take a short rest, and Solarin wakes up with 1 HP after an hour.
During that hour, would Lavas and Sykes be able to transcribe that map?
Yeah.
Did it work? Is he gone? He's gone. Good. Good.
Oh, this was a short rest, right?
Yes.
Can I do a Song of Rest?
Yes, you can. That'd be a D6.
Oh, did you already do it? Or no, never mind. Why did you do damage?
I don't think it did.
Like, on the... it's just a Song of Rest, task damage. I was like, maybe that's just a weird way to phrase it. I don't...
It's a weird way to phrase it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike is looking to enchant somebody's item after a long rest.
Ooh. Any requests who to enchant?
He said random.
Let's see. Crod, could you roll a D6 for us?
Yeah.
Solarin.
Yes!
As you are taking your rest, you kind of put your axe to lean against this plateau of stone here, this small cairn. And so you just kind of like lean it against, so like half down on the side. And at the end, well, somebody else puts it there since you've been unconscious this whole time. So they just kind of like drag you off to the side, leaning against. And as you wake up and then pick it up, you can see just beneath it, there's actually a small crystalline structure of light glowing blue that is kind of embedded into the rock here like ore, but with some, I'm blanking on the word, protrusions of the crystalline growth jutting out. And as you take the axe away from there, you can see that it's got a slight pulsing bluish light to it.
The land provides in our deepest times of need, and makes your shit extra cool.
I shall take notes of this extra cool properties of the land.
Can I get a D6 from you and then a D100?
D6.
Roll real well. I don't know what that means, but roll real well.
They're all tables. We have no context. A 5
Those
and a
numbers are
94
high.
could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the top percentage you can get in there. You know? It's not the best, but it's the second best as far as like high numbers go.
Evendawn is moving really slow right now. I mean, it's okay, but not the best option. Your axe becomes imbued with energy from exposure to this crystalline growth here that as you pull the axe away, you can see that the crystal is actually not even pulsing with light anymore. But your axe becomes a +1 axe. And if you use it to attack against a plant or wooden object, both magical creature or otherwise, it deals an additional 2d6 damage.
Sykes goes to the rock and he's just like touching his rapier down to it, like, come on. Come on. Come on.
Do not worry. Next time we see those dryads, they will not be laughing as hard as they did before.
Those dryads are a perfect example of what would get fucked up with this axe, as it turns into what's called a woodcutter's axe.
Oh, cool. I feel like this stone has much uses. We do need to capitalize on this stone that we have collected as well.
The orcs kind of come forward and they're like, well, you seem to get into fights with just about everyone that you cross paths with. Maybe we should continue on so we don't cross paths with anyone else?
A reasonable assessment.
Just a thought.
Yes, we should move. My people do not tarry for too long. If there are more coming, they will come soon. And they're gonna be mad.
As you all kind of bundle up and get ready to set off once more, the orcs are ready. Solarn is at only 1 HP, unfortunately. But the rest of you have had a short rest. Lalas will volunteer to go first, even though he's kind of grumpy that all your traveling seems to happen during the daytime. I mean, when you make an edgelord build, at least usually the party has the decency to fuel your edginess.
You look at us like the traveling during the day is the weird thing. You realize you're the weird thing, right?
He pauses and then he turns at you and he says, I was born of the night.
I knew you were going to say that.
You merely adapted to it.
You've merely been adopted into the day.
Cool.
Let's see. Solarn, could I get you once more to roll a d20 for me?
Not quite as good as what you rolled previously.
Yeah.
You continue most of the way back to Durkheim, like 85% of the way back, when you find a number of felled trees in the middle of the road. As you get closer, you realize these felled trees are actually dryads. They clearly are dead and dropped in the middle of the road by some happenstance, although you cannot see any physical damage on them.
As we approach, can I try a nature check? See if there's any obvious sign of like disease in the in the bark or anything.
You can give me a nature check with advantage.
Still not great at these. Jesus.
Uh, Crud, I sent you a message.
How many of the dead dryads would you say there were?
You find 5 in the middle of the road here.
These ones bear the marks of the unhomed. Their trees have been taken from them.
Oh. What takes the homes of dryads?
Anyone who cuts down a tree, particularly industrious invaders, tend to have this effect on the dryad population.
Yes, but they weren't here when we came through earlier. Like, how far could they have gotten?
Oh, these ones may have been traveling for long. They've been away from their trees and haven't been able. Once they get too far from their tree and have not been back for a while, they can perish. These ones would have been extremely desperate to travel that far.
Should we
It
bury
tends to-
them?
I would say that much is not known even to Solaran.
Yeah. We do not tend to come across them dead much. I do not know much of their death rituals. But when
perhaps at least
their trees, but it could also be when their trees are felled, they are driven. They can be driven mad from the loss, which might have pushed them this far. But at least we should clear them from the road.
yes, perhaps we can put them into the shade of the other trees.
Return to whence it came. But we must keep our eyes out for large swaths of fallen trees. Because the dryads will not stand for this forever.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I guess we'll start. At least pull them to the side. Bring them in the shade of another big tree around.
You manage to do so, and then you travel for about a half hour more when you encounter a band of about 20 orcs, all with wood axes and a wide swath of felled trees on the edge of a forest near the road.
Well, I believe that answers that question.
One of the orcs sees Sykes and buries his axe in the tree and then extends a hand and he says, "Hail, brother!" And then sees the others coming with the orc family and says, "Welcome home! Durkheim will make a welcome for all their lost ones."
Sykes kind of salutes back. Hail, brother. And he turns to the rest of the group and he says, well, we must really be on our way if we don't want to get tangled up in this mess. They're likely to put us to work.
You make it back to the boundaries of Durkheim as the guard at the gate sees you and kind of, not like menacingly, but preparedness, levels a crossbow and says, "State your business, and by what authority you enter our boundaries."
We're the group that came through here a few hours ago. I am Harkon, and then he'll introduce Koei and Chuck and Solarin and Sykes and Lavas.
"So say you, but there's all manner of fell creature that can take a face."
We've brought back the blacksmith. It was Dilda. Let me double check.
Gilda.
Dilda's family. The as you can see, they are travel weary and should be back with family.
"You know Gilda?"
Oh yeah, she's the one who sent us out to check on her family.
"Very well." And he kind of like stomps his foot as the gate opens and he says, "Enter then. Welcome to Durkheim."
Oh, thank you. We promise not to cause any trouble. Once these fine folk are back with their family, perhaps we'll travel out again.
He just shrugs now and closes the gate behind you. Do you make your way first to Gilda?
Harkin would like so, but he'll agree with the majority of the party.
Sykes
I think
will yeah, Sykes will yeah, he'll well, if it's Gilda that you want to go see, I'll make good on my promise to Lavas here, and I'll go exchange the maps for the coin.
You are able to cash in for that project. And Gelda is ecstatic to find her brother and the family, giving them a big hug and shooing them off. And then she says, turning back to you after they've gone, "I hope they didn't say anything too crazy, did they?"
Well, Gilda,
Surprisingly,
they did make mention that he kind of lowers his voice, that they're followers of Maglubiet. Kind of wish that I would have known that before we went on our way, but
As you say that, she very dramatically clangs her hammer on her anvil several times and says, "Sorry about that, I saw a fly. I apologize. I don't know what they are, but his family, you know what I mean?"
that I do. I will tell you that your niece, she's gonna need some help from some medical attendants. She seems rather sick.
I assure you, I will see to it. His wife, I don't know what's wrong in that dumb bitch's head, but I was mostly concerned for the children. They have little choice in this, and have been conditioned to think that way. So I am very grateful. And then she pauses and she looks towards a big rack of weapons and she says, "Sorry, which was your order?"
The mop?
Yes, that's right. Wasn't there something else?
Lavas, didn't you want to see about getting your weapons treated?
He practically salivates and he says, "Yes, I did." And she was going to do a discounted price for that if memory serves.
Yeah, I think it was gonna be 10 gold.
Yeah. Where did that mob save file go? She grabs the short sword and hands it over to him and says, "All treated and taken care of. I hope you find this to your liking then." Fine. Well, I can resave it.
We did come upon some other weapons and armor. If you'd be willing to trade or buy them outright.
What have you come across?
Oh, we have some short swords and longbows. Got them off right. Some Delwyn that tried to make a play at us.
I mean, I can't offer you much, but I'd be happy to give you some coin for them if that's okay.
As long as my compatriots here are fine to let go of them.
I have no attachment to these items.
She can't
Will be
offer much,
retailed,
but
yeah.
she will pay you. $75 gold for the entire haul.
It's not terrible.
Very well.
She fishes out the coin and she takes all 6 short swords, the scimitar, the 3 longbows, 13 arrows, and 2 studded leathers. Handing over the trusty mop of Flex to Chuck. It is a +1 mop, and anyone that you hit with it has to make a strength saving throw or get moved 5 feet in the direction of your choice.
Ooh, snazzy.
There we go. Is there anything else I could get for you? Maybe you want to spend some of that newfound coin?
What other weapons did she have? I know it was the scimitars. that we were looking at before?
She has a few things. The best ones are those scimitars that she crafts. That's one of her specialities. She has long, elegant spears and warhammers and shields.
Are any of the shields? I guess are they like what kind of quality are they? They just regular shields.
They're all a little bit artistic, though in a more muscular vein of artistic. Although one of them, she very proudly informs you, can become animated.
And how much for that one?
Well, for this one, it's going to take some maintenance for it, preserve the magical energy bound to it, but 120 gold for you?
Sykes kind of like withdraws his hands a little closer to his body. So perhaps another time. It's a little too rich for my blood, if you will.
She looks at you a little bit surprised, and she's like, "Damn, really? Like, I just paid you like 75% of that."
Yes, and that was after much hard work.
Suit yourselves then. Just keep me in mind in the future. And don't forget about that mop and that short sword. You'll need to bring it back every now and then. And no one else knows our treatment methods. You won't be getting any dwarves maintaining that quality.
I couldn't imagine they'd even know where to start.
Of course! They wouldn't! They blow their whole load early on.
They are stupid because they are small.
She kind of like recoils and looks and she says, I mean, I wouldn't have made it so personal as that.
They carry a level of arrogance that doesn't allow them to see beyond what they are currently capable of.
Damn, when'd you all get such racist pricks?
Well, as I mentioned one time at a quarry, how the orcs in Durgheim produce really, really great quality weapons and are industrious. One of the dwarves there flung a pickaxe at me, and well, that's why I think they're arrogant.
Pretty arrogant of you to judge all of them on one dwarf.
You can say that, but I've dealt with my fair share of them out there. Gilda, I will keep you in mind if it is that shield I do want to come back for.
We've had a lot of judgment today. Let us go to the inn.
Best of luck! Thank you for the help with my family. I hope my brother wasn't too much for you.
Well, I wish you the best of luck as well, and perhaps you can talk sense into that your brother and his wife. I would hate to see the kids suffer further.
I have tried more than I can imagine, but I'll keep trying. As you make your way back to the inn, I think we can take a quick bio break there and come back in a couple minutes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, be back in a few. you make it back then to the inn here within Durkheim without drink nor entertainment. There is only one long table for eating at in the communal area here. Currently seated there, you can see one orc dressed in robes with a very large tome open on the table, furiously scribbling with a row of inkwells next to it. Other than that, you can see the inn owner, who, upon seeing you come in, says, "My hero! Have you come back to stay for some time? I might be able to give you some more work soon if you'd wish. You've proven quite worthwhile, so much so I could not stand the work of my other cleaner."
Oh, he's talking to me. Yeah, we're gonna be here for the night, right, guys?
For the night, what if I could convince you to stay for forever? Durham can be not so bad place to live.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll definitely think about it. Right now, I'm just hanging out with my friends right now.
He seems a little bit. I mean, okay, it's yourself, but once you're ready to speak business, we can go into business together. And then
Yeah.
Orc subsidizes this inn for service to the city. I think we could do better than most live without exceeding the subsidy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll think about it. I'll talk to my friends, see what's going on.
Shoot yourself then. We'll shoot the very best then. Good luck, and please, my home is yours after all. Orc pays for most of it.
Oh, thank you. That's very generous.
Do they cover food as well?
Oh, I mean, of course.
Oh, thank God, give.
Oh yeah. My friends are pretty hungry.
Lentil soup then, of course. And serves bowls of slush for each of you from the offerings here as you get a watery green stew.
Just right down the hatch. Just no spoon, just drink.
Likes kind of takes a big smell, big whiff of it, and he's like, reminds him of home. This is maybe not something he's like super fond of, but like just the memories of like what it means to him kind of makes him feel a little, better. Comfort food of sorts. Just like that's what he grew up with. That's what it was.
As you're eating at the table, the orc who's like scribbling kind of looks up and gives a little bit of an acknowledging nod and then goes back to his work. As you can see him about 2/3 of the way through this giant tome that's probably got like 1,500 pages in it. After serving you all and tending to some things, the owner comes back by and he kind of awkwardly like hands behind his back as if he doesn't know what to do. You were away for a bit, weren't you?
Yeah, it was quite some time. Yes.
I heard from the entry and exit reports that you had left the city.
We did leave the city. Yes.
what news of outside the walls? They are very careful with who comes and who goes.
Well, on our recent travels, we just brought some of our own back home. There's a request from the blacksmith guild that we bring her brother and family out from trying to make their own way out there.
I heard we had a few more add to our number. Orc is always rejoicing in the news of more added to our ranks free from grunge.
As we should be.
It is good to hear that we have more free-thinking orcs in our group.
Yes, well, this sort is very, very much the free-thinking type.
Good. Well, sorry, I don't mean to intrude. And then he, awkwardly goes, and he goes and tries to keep busy somewhere else. Pretty clear everyone at the table are his only occupants right now.
Sykes kind of looks over at the individual that's studying the tome.
He is oblivious to that as he is nose deep in scribbling, and as you look at him, you can see his lips moving as he's faintly muttering to himself as well.
So, Laren, you think perhaps this individual here was invited to that meeting? You know, with all the magic meeting, I guess.
It is possible. He does have the air of one of the deep scholars.
Not quite often I see an orc this deep in study of
Give him a
magic.
casual.
Does that alarm you, or do you think so little of your own kind that you can't imagine one who might broaden their horizons? He says without looking up from his tome.
Not about that. I myself seek to broaden horizons, but it's kind of a...
Sorry, I meant beyond the horizons of one's own belt.
Well, that's not what I was getting at. I simply was making the notion. I find it great that we're finding our way in this land.
He meant to recognize you as one of the most learned of folk. No offense necessary.
He just waves his hand, still not looking up. Yes, well, some of you are more preoccupied with borders and expansion and making an empire of orc. I myself would rather learn the possibilities and boundaries of magic in this place, as I seek to gain further understanding and one day even put my own name on a spell. Yes, that should do it well. Have you realized that magic is so fertile here that there are some individuals out there every day who are making new spells of their own?
I was not aware of that, but I have watched the land do some pretty fantastic things.
Especially with the arrival of new eyes, I have seen these phenomenons growing. Please, I am very interested in your studies. Tell me more. Do you seek to blend the natural forces or bend them in a new way?
You are speaking of this druid magic, or are you one of the ones who knows of what the Delmuin are referring to as light casting?
I happen to be one of the latter.
He lets out a little squeak and drops his pen as he looks at you, and he says, as he digs around in a pack and he slams down a much smaller tome and slides it over, and he says, please put down everything that you can think of on the matter. But I get ahead of myself. Light casting, that is not something that I will be able to do. But this land is so fertile with magic that people are able to shape it in new and interesting and creative ways. Um, there are few reports of anyone being able to venture beyond what would be categorized as a Category 2 spell yet, but people are still able to be making Category 1 and Category 2 spells previously never thought of before here. And some are even tapping into the theoretical Category 3 spells.
Yes, there has been a fascinating development.
I myself hope to create an original Category 2 spell of my own one day soon, as I'm learning to manipulate and touch with the web, as we're calling it. But tell me, have you any academic understanding or exposure to this web? Um, any spells that you may have heard tell of that maybe is not known here in Durkheim? As he flips through a very small pocketbook next to his tome as well. And then he looks at Chuck and he says, "You, that is a most interesting staff that you use as an arcane focus. What manner of magic are you able to weave?" If Chuck is not bewitched by his own nemesis right now.
He is in his happy place. He will be back. Return soon.
Definitely in his happy place. Any other of you is any amateur level of magic?
I myself don't particularly understand or use it.
Well, that is disappointing, but I've come to rather expect that level of disinterest from our kind, sadly enough.
I don't wish to dismiss it as disinterest. I simply have no ability to cast, and as it stands, I must keep my eyes in a different target, different sites.
Well, no matter. I do not wish to make those less fortunate feel lesser. But yes, my name is Gelgor, and as you assumed correctly, I was in the council on magic formations. How did you learn of it, if I might ask?
We
learn. Oh, sorry.
No, after you, Solaren.
Well, we did learn from some of the representatives from the other towns of Claghammer and some of the other mages who were meeting in this conference.
You traveled with Burkal, then?
Yes. Yes, got him out of a little situation and managed to get him on his way.
He had very interesting opinions on magic with relation to pacts. Well, I can only imagine how he must feel having made a pact with a djinn, only for him to later discover that there are other methods of gaining magic. Too bad for him. None of you then are wizards here? And that is a most unfortunate shame. I would have loved to compare notes on all of the spells that I've been learning in my time here and see what you might have learned yourselves, but well, no one else can make use of it. You know how it can be.
I am curious though of your own investigations. Particularly, sort of, what are you trying to accomplish with this spell you're creating?
I haven't entirely decided yet. Still trying to learn the boundaries of the magic here, but what I would really love to do is find some way of harnessing energy in velocity and mass to use oneself to be hurled forward in an offensive way. Not someone like me, I'm far too frail, but, he ponders for a moment and then he indicates towards Solarn. Someone stout like you. Imagine if I could launch you forward at great speeds towards your enemy, closing the distance and having terrifying velocity, and you had some sort of weapon like a pike or a lance, and you just use all of that force and then impale them with that.
Almost like some sort of human torpedo or cyclone.
I don't know what either of those words are, but onomatopoetically, sure.
I would be very interested in following your work if we come back. Maybe this will help. And I'll actually pull open the little thing notebook he slid me, and I'll write sort of what I know about sort of channeling photonic energy and turning it into a semi-kinetic force.
He's delighted with that, as he goes on to describe another idea he's had for some kind of alternating shield, something that might help to protect you against different forms of energy. He's like, I do feel like you could create some sort of ward that isn't so predictable as others. Like, if you reverse the polarity on it and demagnetize it, then you might be able to alternate the forms of energy that you stop. See, like, there are methods of warding yourself against, say, fire magic, but that becomes revealed to itself and predictable. What if you were unpredictable in the energies that you could resist, therefore you're keeping everyone guessing, so that if you were to encounter a spellcaster, he might at one moment find you resistant to cold, and while that might frustrate him, he decides to switch to heat. And then what luck, a few seconds later, you find yourself resistant to fire instead, something adaptive.
I believe the elder Delwyn Archer might have had a approach to this. But it would be very interesting to see how you sort of progress with this.
Yes, I imagine you would have to use rotating frequencies in some manner. Tachyons might be helpful for that, but I'm still getting to the heart of the issue, and these are a few of the examples of the ripe ground this place offers in crafting something that you feel could be useful. Like, have you ever thought, wouldn't it be amazing if something could do this? And if you but understand the rules of this realm, you might be able to see that to fruition.
Much of my ability and those of my people is harnessing that which is already around. But yes, this bending to your will fascinates me.
Yelgor, I must say that your vigor and ambitions in this topic are inspiring. I do wish to see you well on your way. Perhaps I one day will hear your name on a spell itself. If that is your
Rest
name.
assured, my name will be on one and then several, as I plan to become as prolific as any of the great academics from the lands of old, where they could barely dabble with cantrips and tier 1 spells.
Oh, I love this.
Yes, very sad.
Pray tell, from your experience, as you seem to be somewhat seasoned travelers, is there anything that you've felt lacking or that you wish could aid you in some magical way and send you on your course? I love to get feedback on this. I have, the mind of an academic, but little in the way of um, practical application of what might be useful in the heat of battle or some such thing.
Hmm.
I spent a preposterously long time trying to create some manner of effect that one might be able to use by lining up a very long row of um, mm, plebeians, common people, commoners, and utilize them to pass a spear one to the other at accelerating speeds until the spear could travel at incredibly high velocities. But that proved to be not practical in real world effects. The curse of an academic.
Feels like friction would also become an issue at some point.
Indeed, that was one of the things that I was having to overcome. Magic can overcome that, but I mean, how often can you just get a row of 100 commoners to pass a spear one to another and then launch it forward?
Hmm.
I do often find myself wishing I can act faster or more more accurate in my blows to the enemy. Um, Sometimes even wish that I could remain hidden.
And do you find that this is a reliably frequent instance of what you need, or do you find it necessary to have a little bit more flexibility in what you do? Meaning, like, from one moment to the next, you need one thing and then another, or is it more useful to have the same thing for the duration of this spell?
Yeah, well, I would say in my experience, though limited, but I, I do think that having a variety of options available to you and through the course of battle is probably more important than targeting and utilizing just one form of tactic.
So, if there was a spell that could grant you an extra burst in energy, in a number of instances, perhaps in one moment you run faster, another moment you strike with more accuracy, that would be better than a perhaps more potent, but kind of locked in on the circumstance version of a spell.
I Yes, I would agree that the utility would probably more than make up for um, the potency, if you will, of one singular option.
He jots down a little bit of a notation and then scratches it out and jots something else down. He's like, well, there's some ways yet to go, but how do you feel for this as a name? And he looks down and he goes, Gelgor's Great Gains, but with a Z.
Gains with a Z. It could do with a little bit of work, but I do like where you're headed.
The
He
repetition is quite enjoyable off the tongue.
Yes, the alliteration does feel great to say.
he looks relieved as Syke says that, and he's like, oh, good, one educated person in the diversity of language. Yes, the word you're looking for is alliteration.
I was on your side a second ago.
And I would have appreciated that if you were familiar with the common tongue.
I think Chuck's familiar with the common tongue.
That Chuck is? What about... Well, he was saying that to Solarin.
Mhm.
Oh. I was gonna say that I
Alright.
think Chuck is.
Oh. Yeah, Chuck is fairly familiar with the common tongue, but he was talking in a more educated vocabulary.
Metaphorical, yeah. Not quite the literal meaning there.
And he kind of like flips through some pages. He's like, I am also in need of expanding name recognition and like, do any of you have any expertise in the ways of spellcasting? Something I might be able to help you with? And then he looks at he looks at Harkin and he says, "Are you perhaps familiar with the more fundamental versions of the arcane?"
I can cast a few spells.
He pauses and he looks at you and he says, "For short rest?"
What?
He looks at you a little bit suspiciously, and then you realize he's asking if you're a warlock.
Oh, warlock. Yeah.
No. No,
Oh, good. Okay. Pray tell, where do you draw upon your magic?
um, oh, it's weird. I feel like it really meshes well with my innate ability as a bard. Seems to be more driven by my words and emotions, I would say.
He pauses and he's like, "Oh, you're one of those." Well, sometimes it can't be helped. Not everyone has a gift. Um, let's see. I would like to give something to lend a hand to you. Are you more of a combative bard or a utilitarian?
I would I would say so far I've been more combative. Um, I do have some utility-esque spells that I use, but they're not much help in combat a lot of the time.
Hmm. A militant bard. Wonderful.
It is quite wonderful to have him at your side when you most need him.
He goes digging through his pack as he pulls out a small stack of scrolls. He's like, "I think we can find something that you might be able to figure out how to use in here." No. 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 That one's not even finished. You'll probably kill yourself if you attempt that one. And then he looks up and he's like, "Right, I'm sorry." Um, do you find yourself more in need of healing or more something debilitating?
Hmm. But I don't have anything for healing, but to cause my enemies harm is of such great use to me. And he'll like ponder. And he'll look at the others and be like, what would you guys think would be a better fit for me?
Well, I do quite like when you shred some rad tunes and just blow the minds of our enemies.
Oh, like that imp
Some,
To have just the
at the
thing for you
some
mine.
then.
other healing would be nice. Slaps in the corner, just,
He he
Stop
fishes out a
being selfish,
scroll
Lawrence.
and he holds it out to you and he says, "You might find this useful. A scroll of phantasmal force on the
Oh,
house."
that does sound cool.
this this should be of great use.
That is indeed the hope. I do hope you find it useful in dire moment. Um, just make sure you tell anyone that you run into that Gelgor is the one who crafts the finest and most diverse offerings of spells, and that he can get you sorted away.
Ah, I see. I
Well,
shall tell all my slain enemies about your spells.
we
Could you
will
perhaps do
certainly
it
spread the
before you
word.
slay them? And if they happen to get away from you, make sure that they know where to go shopping before you kill them.
Oh, very much indeed.
'Tis the best word of mouth, yes.
The undead ones, yes. sorry, I misspoke. Not the undead ones, the not unalived ones.
It's the still rather live ones that haven't met their doom at our hands yet. Those are
But
the
just
ones that.
imagine, just imagine the campaign. Everyone who cast Speak were dead. What killed you? A fantastic spell created by Gelcorn the Great.
More akin to that, if you could just say that. If you do manage to kill someone, maybe leave carved upon their person. Um, Brought to you by Gelgor, this dead body.
Is,
Yeah.
You want
is
us to
that your
mutilate
that
Viral
your-
corpses?
marketing.
That's
I got
weird.
it.
Is there others in your field that you are concerned may compete with you?
I mean, there's a few mages specializing in spellcrafting, not many, and I like to think of them more as mm, um, what would the word be? Any kind of giggles? Uh, Sorry, I seem to have. It seems as though Solarian here is rubbing off on me.
What inappropriate.
Tis good to be
Where? We're in
alive.
public.
Let the men speak. Are
Uh,
they like friendly rivals?
I've lost a lot of blood.
Counterpart, colleague.
Hmm.
There are others working in the same field, and I consider them, with respect, collaborators in some way.
Hmm.
So no ill will. But if you can make sure that it's my name carved in there, that would be preferred.
Very well.
Ooh, do you find yourselves in the mood to be somewhat experimental?
What would this entail? I do have a penchant for entrepreneurship. So I do get. I do like to explore a little bit, but it's really more in the things that I'm comfortable with.
So the opposite of that, then.
Well, magic can be quite detrimental to those that are unaware, and it's no big secret that I'm rather unaware.
Indeed, this would
If-
take some risk. I've made an experimental version of a spell that's not quite finished yet, but it might get the job done, and I'd love for your input. If you could give it a try. And he slides a scroll in front of you. The scroll is written on black, almost charcoal colored and textured paper. I call this spell Mind Eater.
Well, that certainly sounds quite menacing.
Indeed.
I'm sure we will make great use of it. Yes, Harkin?
He looks expectantly at Harkin huh? What do you say? You want to give it a try?
What is the intent of this spell?
I'm so glad you asked. So, if this spell does what I think it will, and it might prove challenging, you cast it, and you consume the brain of a corpse,
And
gaining
doesn't-
its memories and knowledge.
Ah. I was about to ask, because that does not usually require magic to do.
Well, no, I don't. Sorry, I should clarify. You don't eat the brain.
Can be the best part, though.
So if you find a corpse that has not died too long ago, I haven't nailed down the precise time that they need to have passed. You cast a spell on the corpse, and basically you just eliminate all of the knowledge from it and you absorb it into yourself for some time, maybe an hour or two, you can basically attempt to recall any important knowledge stored within that person's mind, family history, recent events, passwords, and the like.
Hmm. And if
Could be
you were
useful.
to attempt this on someone that's alive, what would happen?
Oh. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I want to make sure we set the conditions completely right for this experiment.
I would suspect it would have no effect on a living creature. I can't swear that, though. There is a possibility that it would become some duel of wits, and one of you will end up mad.
Very well. We'll make sure we'll make sure that the target is dead before we try. Wouldn't want Harkin over there to lose his wits.
Fair chance it would be the other person who loses the wits, or you might just take the knowledge without anything else happening. I haven't really tried it. My calculations indicated that it might not end well, and I didn't really want to be the one who went mad. So that part's purely theoretical, as is the rest of it.
Very well.
A fun experiment.
If you're wanting to be the one to give it a try, I would love the feedback, and you might benefit greatly from using this theoretical third or fourth tier spell. I haven't really figured out where it ranks there.
And keep working on this kinetic throw of person spell. I am very much intrigued.
Well, I must admit, now I'm a little bit diverted by this Gelgor's Great Gains spell.
That does
I
sound
think
pretty good.
it will be very, very good. Was there... I'm sure you can't share all of the details with us, but anything that you would be willing to share that came out of this consortium or this meeting of minds for the magic?
I really shouldn't give away too much of the confidential stuff out there, very important, not like military secrets and whatnot. But we are working on some standardization of spell potency, as we haven't really quite learned the full grasp and taxing effects of some of it. It is believed that some even are able to essentially use blood magic, taxing themselves further and harder than is otherwise thought to be the limits. Really, it was all putting down measurement systems and standards of how this new magic might work. There was an attempt to create a collaborative encyclopedia of known spells, but no one really wanted to give up spells that they had discovered or learned to others who hadn't yet. It's a little bit of a standoffish situation between spellcasters right now. What?
It seems like there's great power there, so I can very much understand. You would want things that you intend to be used one way, used against you another way.
Quite so. It was also awkward. No one really invited the warlocks to here, but a couple of them came with messages from their patrons condemning this, as they said, brazen and reckless usage of magic that is unharnessed and not gifted by a more powerful being, and attempts to warn us that we will soon, if not destroy ourselves and everything living, then we would provoke the intervention of greater beings who would kill us to stop us from destroying this world.
Um, well, as I don't know too much of other great deities outside of Grumsh, Maglubiate, and maybe a few
Oh,
others, but
this came from more fiendish and genie patrons, predominantly.
we did run into an Efreet that made mention of his clientele dwindling, and so perhaps the threat comes from loss of profits here more than it does come from the gods themselves.
I would wager that is the source of it. Yes, I do agree. They seem to be rather nervous at what might come of this new frontier, but the threats are growing in intensity, and some of our orders are worried of repercussions from angering um, devils of the Nine Hells.
From what I've seen of these warlocks, their patrons seem to be more bullies than anything else.
Currently, yes, but that is because they are operating independently. There is some speculation amongst the more wizardry and sorcerer orders that should these fiends grow desperate enough at a lack of new sales, they might start to work together. And a bully might be a bully until it's a group of bullies, and then it's called a fascist army.
Hmm.
I can recall a couple times in history where that was a problem for the greater good of everybody.
Just so,
Initi-
yes.
The initial damage would be great. Would have to wait them out until they tore themselves apart, but we might not have that kind of time. I get your meaning.
Yes, and they might move past their own self-destruction to this purpose, and then, well, gods help us all, right? So that was certainly one of the highlights of this council meeting.
Was there anyone of importance there that perhaps we should do our best to avoid, or if ever we're in need, someone that we should seek out that attended this meeting?
Well, as it happened, there was a noteworthy addition to our attendance. It was the offspring of a genie, Genasi as they go by the name, but not a warlock himself. A sorcerer of alarming power who was showing a capability to manipulate magic as he cast it. It was a offspring of an earth genie. What was his name? And he pulls open his book and he was saying he was demonstrating terrifying capabilities with magic. Not the comprehension to be able to craft spells so much, but what he well wielded was fearsome. Have you ever interacted much with these genasi, these genie babies?
As it happens to be, my mother is Genasi. I am half orc, half Genasi.
Truly.
So, what do you say? I am quite interested in.
He went by the name Agate, and he was one of the more forthcoming on the types of magic that he could cast. Uh, Orders of magnitude stronger than most could cast. He did not say where he was visiting from. Rather got the impression he was something of a wanderer, but he seems to have benefited greatly from his exposure to this place. He produced one spell that he formed a boulder of hard earth that must have been 20 feet in diameter that began rolling forward with shocking speeds.
Does
He
seem quite
sent it
impressive.
in a direction that did not kill anyone, but I imagine that could have laid great waste in its path.
I can
I-
only wonder what damage that can do to, well, not even just the people, but fortifications of a city, um, or the outposts. There's
Very
not a
much
whole
so.
lot of them that are large here, so
Indeed, yes, especially amongst, um, well, the settlements of humans, the remnants of the Kelgorn Empire. Their first two settlements crumbled without any explanation, didn't it?
So you think this person may have been around, or at least their mentor, longer than most?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I don't know if you've encountered this, but there seem to have been deposits of ores or stones that have absorbed some of the web around here. And sometimes they release magic that seems to infuse a person. Like how do sorcerers come to being?
That is true.
But it is honestly quite remarkable. Um, that was another of the highlights of this council meeting, though truthfully, noteworthy moments were few in between, as it was mostly awkwardness and an unwilling to share.
Was he part of a particular group at this conference?
As it happens, it was actually a founder of a group um, by the name of the Troika. I have
Troika.
not heard of them to date. Troika.
Troika. Okay.
Troika.
we did meet. I think we did meet one of their members in Voldsnu, if you recall.
How could I recall?
Karen?
Well,
The
Solarian
wet
here.
one, yes.
Yes. Perhaps they're
She
a
was
group
quite
of
something.
Genasi.
It seemed to be.
Really, a female spellcaster, and she had a name to boot. That must have been most impressive.
Corryn, yes.
That's not actually him. That's just the um, 3 named NPCs in a row.
God damn it. These notes are
That whole
useless.
debacle. It was Corryn, Karin.
That's what I said.
Is
Yeah.
you
Yeah, the
sounded
what one?
uncertain with your notes.
But yes, the big wet one, I remember.
She sounds like a real treat.
And she seemed enthusiastic, that is for sure.
My
He did
favorite
make
kind.
he did make claims that they were really interested in understanding magic more than wielding it for power and purpose of power. So, if that's their principles, then perhaps this agate only seems to merely demonstrate what they've learned.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to forcibly use what they've learned.
But he was a sorcerer. They're completely incapable of sharing such knowledge. One of their great limitations.
Well, I think very much like you're studying magic, they were asking us to do something similar if we would meet with them. Although we really haven't been back to Voldsnew since, so it was just the first impression versus the member of the Claghammer that we met, who seemed more brutish and more of a mercenary group than a simple group of people trying to understand the limitations or the founding principles of magic.
Well, do you plan to be here in Durkheim long?
Well, Celerin, Harkin,
For at least the next couple days, but we do have business back in Vishnu.
Voltsnew?
Voltsnew. I don't know why that was so hard to say.
Oh, it's like me and Dwellman.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right still.
And him and Tarek Nor.
Yeah.
You won't speak any of that filthy Cardassian tongue here.
Can't not hear it.
Well then, if you're going to be spending your time with those people, it's unavoidable. But perhaps if I master this before you go, or if you return, perhaps you will be one of the first beneficiaries of the wonderful spell of Gelgor's Great Gains.
Straight gains, sir. Straight gains. Fist bump.
Pure gains.
That would
Well,
be
I
fantastic.
am losing a lot of blood, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Yes, my apologies. I did not mean to keep you long.
Oh, no worries.
But
yeah,
as
so
you
I'm-
retired to go for your long rest, Gelgor is continuing to scribble away, and he's actually going to leave an early draft of the gain spell for you guys to attempt as well if you want to. Unreliable results. Very experimental. But he actually slides this like note scroll under one of your doors, as you can see like crazy notations and asterisks and inserts and writings in the margins and diagrams, all in kind of surrounding the central piece with a big circle scribbled around it, which is the components of the spell itself.
Like a bunch of like, read this first, this second. Like, don't forget to like accentuate and That's
And then
great.
there's
An
like
arrow that points over to the other side of the paper. Don't forget.
And then there's incompleted thoughts. Like in one corner, it reads explosive results ?
Yeah.
And then there's like another one written in cursive in one of the margins that just reads possible rhinoceros.
Nice.
But as you go upstairs for your long rest and 2 experimental spell scrolls in hand, I think we'll call it here for tonight.
Okay.
I'd say that was a pretty good session. Lot of character interaction.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Glad we didn't get just leveled by Althsteir. That would have been. I was half expecting it. Like, oh man, I'm glad I rolled really high on that intimidation check.
Could
Yeah.
have been out of your depths, possibly, unless y'all banded together, but might have drawn the tieflings into the fight.
Yeah.
To say if Chuck, while he was being phantom choked, just said harder, I would have lost it.
Had he been playing Flynn, that probably would have happened.
Yeah, I really have to restrain the shit I say as fucking Chuck. Like that's why he's so quiet compared to Flynn. So I'm just like, no, I can't say that. No, I can't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah,
Dude,
you'll
I mean-
start
Going
to
a
think
whole
of things
different
that Chuck can
direction.
say.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm gonna make Flynn and Chuck like half cousins or something, half brothers.
Loosely related
know,
through.
Yeah, like the one was abandoned and one was to be trained as a sailor. I don't know.
No, I mean you
Separated at
literally
birth.
cut to the point of it there, and you stopped the bickering. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then part of this is to demonstrate the potential in this world for you guys to invent your own spells.
Okay.
Oh.
You
It,
piqued my interest. This is pretty sweet, actually.
it's experimental,
Yeah.
and it'll take like checks and work, and as opposed to you just like pitching me an idea and then a spell level and asking if this works, it's going to be more of like you actually try to cast it and you find out what happens if you haven't balanced it right.
Oh no.
I'm thinking like like Kyoken type move for someone, like he burns a certain number of like light dice and gets similar to like a haste effect, maybe for like a certain number of turns.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, because this is like a new world that's so like new in magic, it's not just about the spells that are there, because as you start getting into like 4th, 5th, 6th level spells, many of them won't have existed. So if you take that on, you would be the first one to cast it. It's equally an opportunity for you guys to potentially make your own new spells. Although if you try to come with like a 3rd level version of Hero's Feast, you might find out that it just kills you because you're overtaxing the magic for what it gets you.
Yeah.
Mm. Heck yeah, that'd be cool.
But possibilities out there.
All right. Well, good
Yeah.
game all. Good night, Mike. We'll
Good
see
night.
all of you later.
Thank you, and
It was a
hopefully
fun
next
session.
week.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, next week I'm gonna be at Disneyland.